two things can get you through this, man. That's patience and persistence. We all aspire, we all have the same emotions. You know, no matter who you are, where you're from, we all have the same emotions. You know, we all want to be successful. You know, we all have the same fears of failure. We all have feelings of abandonment. We all, you know, want love. You have to have such a strong belief in yourself that you can quiet out all the outside noise, because that's you're gonna need that on every step of the way. You know, there are people that are projecting their fears and their shortcomings and failures on you. And you have to be very careful, you know, with that. People telling you can't do that. Why can't I? You know, because they may have tried, or they don't believe that they can do it. And it's not really about you. It's about what they feel and their fear inside. So you have to be strong enough and resilient to believe in whatever it is you're trying to do. Every human being has genius level talent. There are no chosen one. God is giving every single person genius level talent. You just have to find what it is that you're great at and then tap into it. First of all, I'm always, I'm constantly curious and always trying to evolve as a human being, right? That's one thing, trying to learn myself and learn my faults and learn the things that I don't like and learn, you know, whatever insecurities that we have as human beings. People look at you strange saying you changed, like you worked that hard to stay the same, like you're doing all this for a reason. And what happens most of the time, people change. People change around you because they start treating you different because of your success. So you are changing. You don't change who you are, the core of who you are, the things you believe, the things you love, and the things you die for, and your principles. You don't change that, but you're going to change who you are. You're going to change. You know, you can't do the same things. You can't hang on the corner. Some people may not be comfortable with that. I'm not really concerned with noise because I'm playing for a long game. I see 10 years down the road. Every now and again, I step outside of myself and I just look at my life objectively. Sometimes I find myself saying, who is that dude right there? Like, if you'd have told me 20 years ago that my life would be like this, I'm not sure I would have believed you. I heard people say I'm the luckiest man on the planet. I like to think I stay ready. A wise man once told me luck isn't some mystical energy that dances around the universe, randomly bestowing people with satisfaction and joy. You create your own luck. My uncle, he was telling me, like, my uncle said I never sold a million records. I sold a million records like 1 million times. Are you crazy? How you gonna do that? How? You know, I'm sure there's things that I do now that he can't believe that I was able to accomplish. He couldn't even see it at the time. So he was just projecting from his fears on me. Right? How do you arrive at that point? You gotta also look at that. You have to look at that. You gotta look at the environments and places we live in and how things are set up and how things are structured and how we're always the last on the totem pole, even from our schooling to our roads to, you know, everything that all the obstacles that's placed in front of us, even our living conditions. We live in a project. Someone lives here, 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 and here. You know, you have to deal with all these different type of personalities. You're in the box. Someone's above you, below you, to the right of you, to the left of you. And every day you have to manage that circle. So that's like living dormant. Life is about balance, right? You have to have some type of balance. You have like time for work and it's time for play. And if you don't allow these two things to coexist, you have an imbalance. It's not simple to do with all the pressures to succeed and all the pressures to, once you succeed, to stay there. You have a belief in yourself, and sometimes, in most cases, it's a naivete about who you are and what you can contribute to the game. Belief in oneself and knowing who you are, I mean, that's the foundation of everything great. The truth about talent is, first, that it's God-given. When you want to unleash that talent, your mind lets it go. You know, because it's there. You have to have the belief that when you draw from that well of talent, that it's going to be there. You have to have that belief that when you go into the basket, no one that's on that court can stop you. That's an individual thing. I'm not gonna let anybody speed up my process. I don't care what's happening out there. That's the great thing about, you know, having ultimate confidence in yourself is it doesn't matter what's happening. I don't care what's happening. I don't care what you're on or this person's on. This is what I like. they have that thing that, that belief that you can only do one thing. We don't have that. We're not inflicted with that disease. I personally don't believe anybody could stop me. I really, that's just how I believe it. It was gonna be. I was coming. I was destined. It just is what it is. My mom bought me my first boombox, and my mom's friend bought me my first notebook. It was like this makeshift notebook of papers with no line. It was a green book with these little pins that you bend down on each side. And when I first started making music, that's when I first realized that, I was tapping into an emotion, and I knew there was small pockets of people all across the country that I spoke to directly, but I didn't have the vehicle to get to them. I didn't have a record label at the time, so I tried to get a record deal, and I couldn't get a record deal. The record company would be my bridge to them, and they didn't give me that bridge, so it was very important in my career that we didn't give up right there. That belief in myself and belief that I had something to offer. So we built our own bridge, and I started my own record company. I had a really outside dream of being a millionaire by the time I was 30 years old. I actually calculated where it would take and all these different things, and I had no idea. I had no plan of how I was going to arrive at this point, other than this very distant outside chance of being a basketball player, which was very far, because I never played any organized sports. I never really played on a team. Back then, that opportunity was very limited because rap wasn't what it is today. My small circle of friends would say these stories, right? These short stories. So it was a hobby for everybody. I remember first time seeing Sugar Hill on Soul Train. I was like, what are they doing on there? It was like shocking to me. Like, why are they on TV? Like, for doing that. As an artist, if you ain't inspired to work, then you start thinking. Once you start thinking, you start forcing music. It's never good. My feeling is, whenever inspiration don't find you, you have to find it. And I wish I could say we were geniuses and say we're going to start our own company. That's not what happened. In the beginning, we went to every single label, and every single label shut their door on us. The genius thing that we did was we didn't give up. We didn't say, because these guys, we use that what do they know approach. We didn't give up at that point. I think that, that was the genius thing we did. We started selling our own CDs, and we built our own buzz, and then the record company came back to us. So now we had a different negotiation. It wasn't the same artist label relationship. Now we retain ownership in our own company, and it was the best thing for us. Discipline as well, the discipline to not get caught up in the moment. Music is like stocks too. There's the hot thing of the moment. There's this hot electro sound, or the hot auto-tune voice, or the hot whatever's new and exciting. And people tend to make emotional decisions based on that. They don't stick with what they know. This is who I am. This is what I do. And then they, jump on this next hot thing, and it's not for you. So for me, just having the discipline and having the confidence that in who I am. And if I go into a studio and if I find my truth of the moment, there are a number of people in the world that can relate to what I'm saying, and it's gonna buy into what I'm doing. Not because it's the new thing of the moment, but because it's my genuine emotions. It's how I feel. It's how I articulate the world. He just affirmed to me that instincts is really important in business. I didn't go to any proper business school or any read any super follow any manuals like the Record Business 101 and anything like that. I just pretty much followed my instincts, and he just reaffirmed that for me, that your instincts are very important to you.
Yeah. I'd like to welcome everybody to my podcast. I am your gracious host, Jupiter 9. And yeah, man, it's all about that billionaire mindset, you know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Jay-Z, man. I mean, you know, people don't understand why so many people from New York State, you know what I'm saying, are such big Jay-Z fans. It's not really because of his rap career. Well, it might have something to do with it for people who follow Jay since his whole career, like myself. I remember, you know, when the record companies didn't want to sign Jay and Rockefeller and all them cats. I remember when, you know, he couldn't get a deal. A lot of DJs in New York, you know what I'm saying, New York City, were hating on him at the time. They wouldn't play his music, you know. So, you know, people can learn a lot from where Jay started and where he is right now in his career. And he started out with $100,000, you know what I'm saying, street money, like, you know what I mean? And look at him now, you know what I'm saying? People don't understand what it takes to get to where Jay-Z is at. A lot of people think that, you know, that shit happened overnight for Jay. That Jay just got $1 billion because he married Beyonce and all that, like, know what I mean? But Jay been grinding for a long time, man. Ever since going back to the days of, you know, Jazzo and Hawaiian Silky, back in them eras, you know, when he used to rap fast and, you know, I mean, I can go way, way back, even before that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the whole point of this podcast, first of all, I like to welcome everybody to this podcast, man. Thank you for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? But today's podcast, man, is all about having that billionaire mindset, man. And, you know, too many times us as a people, we give up too easily. We give up too fast because we fail one time at something and then we end up, you know, not trying again. And I can't tell you how many times I have failed at creating my own lane as far as financially, creating something that I can financially take care of myself, you know what I'm saying? And I done did a lot of stuff, man, and continue to test out things, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, some things work, some things don't work too well, you know, and some things don't work at all. But I keep learning, I keep pushing, I keep trying. That's the thing. You should never give up on your dreams. And too many times people give up on their dreams, man. And if you have a really big dream, like my goal and my dream is to create generational wealth. Like, that's my goal from here on out to the rest of my life until I'm no longer breathing. I'm 6 feet deep. You know what I mean? The goal is to create generational wealth for the next generation in my family. You know what I mean? And who knows if I'll do that or not, but I'm going to try my damnedest to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And some things that people go through when they're trying to, you know, step outside the comfort zone. I mean, people are too comfortable. I think a lot of people are too comfortable with their 9 to 5 and, you know, the security of having a 9 to 5. I think that's holding a lot of people back on wanting to start their own thing, wanting to start their own clothing line. I just seen something on, what's it called? Shark Tank, where, you know, these millionaires, they look for entrepreneurs and inventors, and they pick out the ones who are the best. But well, anyway, long story short, it was this young man, you know what I'm saying, who was 15 years old, and he, like a couple years ago or a year ago, I think, or something like that, not too long ago, he had recently had a birthday and he got some birthday money. So he decides to take his birthday money and start a clothing line. Well, fast forward a year later, now he has a clothing line that's bringing in annual sales of $1.5 million. And this is what I mean by not giving up, by going for your dreams, you know what I'm saying? Not just being complacent with the 9 to 5, or just being complacent by saying that, you know, I'm only 15 years old. I can't start no business, but time again, you'll see young kids today, and they are doing their own thing. You know what I mean? Even with the music today, a lot of cats, young kids, they are, not rating on a record deal anymore like they used to back in the day. Yeah, they still might, deal with the record companies at a certain point, maybe. But that's after, they have already, exhausted all their internet influence, and they already reached the ceiling of what they could do on their own, far as like, creating a buzz on the internet, getting a following, this, that, and the third. But the thing is different with today with these young kids in the entertainment and in hip hop is that, yes, the quality of music has suffered tremendously, but far as like business wise, I think that the young kids are doing their thing. Like, young kids don't need a record label anymore, not with the internet, you know what I'm saying? And, people are afraid to, too many people are afraid to be uncomfortable, to be uncomfortable, to say, if you work in a 9 to 5 and working a job you hate, not saying you should quit your job or anything like that, if you're working, but people just don't want to be uncomfortable when it comes to separating themselves from everybody else and becoming their own boss, becoming their own man or woman, and being the one who's signing the checks instead of being the one who's receiving the checks. So people don't want to be uncomfortable. People, again, once you get complacent, I think it's hard to break out of that complacency. And, I could be a victim of that too, as well, of, I always wanted to do my own thing, start my own, business and all that. But I've tried a lot of things. And, since I had the 9 to 5, I always had that to fall back on. But that can always be a gift and a curse too, as well, because you won't go as hard when you got a 9 to 5. If you understand what I'm saying, because you already got a weekly check coming in, and if you fail at something, then you be like, oh, well, fuck it, it didn't work. So I'm just gonna, rock with my 9 to 5 and just continue doing what I'm doing and barely getting by and barely living life and, just keep barely living, But it was until the turning point for me, I really think it was, not only with the whole coronavirus stuff that was going on, and then, everything shut down, and that was kind of critical because it gave me a turning point, not only to that, but to only sit down and think about, like, man, just that easy, I can stop working and I won't have no type of income coming in. Just like that, everything can be shut down. And how the hell am I going to take care of myself if everything shuts down? You know what I'm saying? And, just the uncertainty of having somebody tell you what to do, what time you got to be there, what time you can take a lunch break, what time you can use the bathroom. Pretty much a 9 to 5 to me, which is nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. You got to start at some place, especially if you're not born with any type of inheritance coming in, or you don't have that type of thing going on in your life, and you starting way from the bottom. Then you probably got to get a 9 to 5, possibly. If you can't create something that can, bring in some type of financial income into your pockets. But everything, happens for a reason. So, that's the big thing. People are afraid. Another thing too, people are afraid of success. People are afraid. Know what I'm saying? If you get a certain type of money, people are afraid to have that type of certain money because they never had that type of certain money. So people don't know what to do with money today. Know what I mean? Like, people don't know what to do with money today. You get a nice chunk of money and then, people want to blow it on silly stuff. And it's just, you're not utilizing your utilizing your funds like in a proper way. you know. But having the billionaire mindset, to me, what it is of having a billionaire mindset, to me, is being consistent. You know what I'm saying? Being consistent, you know what I'm saying? Always putting in the work every single day. No days off, not unless you have something serious going on in your life. But no days off, you know what I'm saying? No days off. Just keep mashing, and making it happen. You know what I'm saying? And just learning. Continue learning is another way. You know, continue learning on the things you already know and adding to the knowledge you already know on whatever you're trying to accomplish. Just continue learning. You know, like another thing I say too is, you know, step out your comfort zone. That's another way of having a billionaire mindset, is stepping out your comfort zone. You know, step out your comfort zone, man. If you have dreams of starting a clothing line, just do it. And then a lot of people say, well, you know, I don't have the money, and there's so many ways you can get around that. The money part, you know, it might be a little bit more time consuming, but that can be done too as well. A lot of stuff you can do, a lot of government programs you can get into, you know what I'm saying, to get all types of government grants. I mean, government gives money left and right to, you know, people who want to start a business. So not having the money is not an excuse. All you gotta know is how to write a proposal, you know. That's not hard to do. Like, everything you want to do in life is really, you can find it on YouTube pretty much. Like, when it comes to finances, when it comes to starting a business, when it comes to affiliate marketing, all types of, especially business stuff, all that stuff can be found on YouTube. And too many times people waste too much time on flicking through TikTok for funny nonsense on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, other platforms. And, you know, too many times people waste time on putting all their business out online and, you know, putting all their everything online. I mean, internet is really, like I said, some good things about the internet, and there's some bad things about the internet. And those are one of the things I really can't stand about the internet, is how people just, you know, bombard the internet with nonsense and, you know, prank like the prank videos. That's something that I really can't stand. Like, you know, people gonna end up losing their life. I'm seeing a lot of prank videos popping up, people pranking people, and people gonna end up losing their life over some attention that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? People just want to get a bunch of likes and views, and, you know, people need to snap out of it and snap back into real life. You know, stuff that goes on the internet, a lot of that stuff is not reality. People think that, you know, because they get a bunch of likes on Facebook and all these other platforms, that these people actually like them. A lot of times people don't even like you. You know what I'm saying? On some of these platforms, they be talking all types of craziness and all that, but, you know, but when it comes to, you know, us as a people, we know everything under the sun but getting money and investing and, you know, creating, you know, businesses. Like, we know everything else, but when it comes to investing and creating other businesses and other jobs for other people, and being a true entrepreneur, not a record label or none of that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? We have no clue. You know, we waste billions every year on designer clothes, a lot of things that are made in China for pennies on a dollar. We waste a lot of money, and a lot of times, you know, a course will come across and it's like $1,000 or whatever. And a lot of people say they don't have the money, but they're wearing sneakers that cost $400 and $500. But you won't spend the money on the information to possibly create your start the beginning to creating generational wealth. You won't do that. You know what I'm saying? But one of the books that helped me, like there's a bunch of books out there that really were like a turning point in me as far as like mentally, because I was on the edge when I first started off getting into like investing and wanting to start my own business and stuff like that. I was really like, teeter-tottering between job and, being a business owner and, stuff like that. Like, I always knew I had a job to fall back on. And I think that probably was my downfall as far as like me growing as and being an independent business owner, because like I said, you always got that job to lean back on. But that's what I mean by being uncomfortable. Is about being uncomfortable is about, you got a business idea, you got a business dream, and you say, you know what, poop my 9 to 5. I'm gonna make my dream happen no matter what happens. And some people do that and succeed, like, Master P and people like that. And, some people do it and fall flat on their face. But, how do you know the outcome if you don't try it? Like, know what I'm saying? If you don't try it, how do you know what outcome you're going to have if you don't even try to create the life and dreams that you want? You got to at least try. And that's what I think a lot of people don't do. They don't try, you know what I'm saying? And I can't tell you how many times people were like, when I first started getting into podcasting, you know what I'm saying? A couple of years ago, a lot of people said that, I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Why you want a podcast? And I told them, I said, yo, I love sharing information. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot in this brain that I want to, share with people and stuff like that. And, I think I'd be all right with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that's hard to do. If you can talk on the phone, that's something I really don't like doing. But, why can't I podcast? There's other people doing it. And, so many people are like, oh man, you're not going to be able to do nothing, but you're not going to be able to succeed in podcasting. And I had a podcasting platform, you know what I'm saying, before it was deleted on another platform, it was, doing really well. I got over 3 million plays on my podcast platform. And I made in 1 year, I made $48,000 off of podcasting. And the average podcaster, who has a good following and a lot of plays, you know what I'm saying? They make an average of 40 to 50,000 a year. That's on the low end. That's on the low end when it comes to podcasting. If you do it for the love, then, the money's going to come. So there's podcasters making millions a year, but on the low end, they're making 40 to 50,000 a year off just podcasting and sharing what they want to share to the people. You know what I'm saying? And, people don't understand. I've never made 48,000 from a job off strictly just $40 an hour. I never made that. I was making like 24,000, 30,000 a year, something like that. But I was working a bunch of hours, and to pay what they pay you to work these jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's really nothing, like $14, $15 an hour. What is that? Like, with inflation, you're not really making $14 and $15 an hour. Plus, with taxes, once they take out taxes and all that, you know what I'm saying? You can kiss that $15 an hour. You're really not making $15 an hour. You're probably making somewhere like $9 to $10 an hour or something like that. After you take all the taxes out, federal and state and medical and social security. Once they take all that stuff out of your check, you're actually only making like $9 to $10 an hour if you're making $15 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So for me to make 48,000 just strictly off of podcasting, I think that's pretty cool. So having a billionaire mindset, man, is another thing too as well, is keeping your circle small, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're a person who know a lot of people, cool. But me, I'm about, keeping my circle small, intermediate circle real small, not having a lot of friends and all that, not unless, you need certain type of connections on whatever, but having a small circle, man. Not having a lot of friends, cutting off people who are cancerous in your life. That's another thing. Cutting off the bad, negative energy, that a lot of people can give and spew to you. It's crazy. People can tell you that you can't do this, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But these are the same people that are working a 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying? Or don't have a job at all, telling you you can't do something, And some people, really take that to heart, Listen to other people and all that, but, you can do anything you put your mind to. I know that's an old cliche, but anything you want to do in this world, you can do it. Anything. Anything's accomplishable. Your mind can shape your reality. You can go within and create your own universe. You can do anything you want to do, especially here in the capitalist America. You can do anything you want to do here. As far as creating a business or anything like that. Everything is all in place. You know what I'm saying? It's just it just takes you that want to put in the work. And that too, people don't want to put in the work. They think that you do something a couple times and everything is supposed to just, sell off the shelf. You got a product, you advertise it for a day, and people think you're supposed to sell thousands of them in one day. And it don't work like that, man. It don't work like that. But another thing of having a billionaire mindset is, staying focused, man. Staying focused, staying hungry. Even when you got $1 billion in the bank, you still want to make those $1 million deals. You still want to make those $5 million deals. You know what I'm saying? You still want to have the mindset of you're broke. That's the way you gotta see it. That's the way you gotta look at it. You can't be comfortable. You never be comfortable with having $1 million in the bank. Never be comfortable with having $5 billion in the bank. Never be comfortable with having 50 in the bank. Never be comfortable with having 100 million in your bank account. Just never be comfortable. Always be grinding. Always, you know what I'm saying? Of course, take time out to yourself and, go on vacations and enjoy life, but just never be comfortable. There's always a deal to be made. Remember that. There's always a deal to be made in your favor. And especially if you have a talent, just like JC, everybody has that talent, God given the talent. It's up to you if you want to tap into it. Some people tap into it and some people don't. But it's there for everybody. Everybody has that talent, man. They want to go get it. And I don't know if, Jay's a Sagittarius, I'm a Sagittarius, so that stuff Jay be talking about, I get it a lot quicker than some people do. But how bad do you want it? That's what you got to ask yourself. How bad do you want it? Do you want to continue working a 9 to 5, getting up, going to the rat race, getting up early in the morning, you're away from your family and friends, or just your family and kids, and not spending no time with your kids? You gotta find a babysitter for your kids. You live in paycheck to paycheck. At any given time, the company can be like, yo, you know what I mean? Your services are done here. We don't no longer want you here. You know what I'm saying? And then you're looking for another 9 to 5, same old process. You go to you fill out the applications and you go for the interview, and the people in the interview looking at you like, you know what I'm saying? And just, do you want to continue with that, or do you want to be in charge of your life and really live life to the fullest? It's all up to you. You know what I'm saying? But having a billionaire mindset, man, is all it's just knowing that your life is in your hands, no one else's hands. And if you want to change your life, it's going to take you to change it, nobody else. You know what I'm saying? And that is why You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, especially in New York State, you know what I mean, revere Jay so much because of his grind, where he came from, especially if you, like me, I seen where he started and where he's ending up at. I look at that myself. He's like our Bill Gates, Warren Buff, you know what I'm saying? He's like our Bill Gates and Warren Buff. And I see that and it's like, if he can do it, man, I know I can do it, because where he came from, man, nobody thought in a million years, like he said, nobody thought in a million years he would be where he's at today. But it's all about you capitalizing on your opportunities when they come. When you get an opportunity, you not only knock down the door, you knock down the whole building. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we have opportunities in front of us and we let them pass us by. When it comes to finances, we let them pass them by. Like crypto. Right now, everybody should be focusing on investing in crypto. Boy, the market is down. A lot of people are running from crypto, but they don't understand the way the market moves, and this is the time you should be actually getting in. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand. Finances, they do the same thing. You know, relationships do the same thing. You'll have a good man in front of you or a good woman in front of you, and you treat them like shit. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa. And that could be something that'd be a great opportunity. You find somebody, you two are on the same page, and now you can build your empire. But no, people don't see it like that. Most people are selfish. And being selfish, you will lose out on a lot of your opportunities financially and relationship wise by being selfish. You know what I'm saying? Selfishness never grew into prosperity ever. So remember that. Selfishness never grows into prosperity. You know, this is why Oprah Winfrey gives away so much money every year. You know what I'm saying? This is why wealthy people, rich people give back. You know what I'm saying? Because when you give back, that comes back to you. But, you know, people don't get it. People don't get it. So people are too selfish. They don't get it. But that's my take in this podcast episode, guys. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Please share this podcast episode with everybody you know. Family, friends, co-workers. You know what I'm saying? Share it with everybody you know. And I would really appreciate it if you share my message, man. But yo, that's my take, guys. I'm your gracious host, Jupiter 9. And I just want to say peace and love to everybody. Take care. 1.